Okay, so a couple of comments before I get into the watch list video for Tuesday, April 13th. And one is, I run scans every night trying to find anomalies and things to trade and all that. And one of the scans I run is I don't have the exact parameters in front of me, but there's something like 4 days in a row red, right? 4 days lower, and today, meaning the fourth day, at least the fourth day, it's down more than 5% just today. So if you can picture that on a chart, you're talking about a stock that's already been bleeding lower for 3 days in a row, and then the fourth day added 5% or more to that, right? Typically, do you find very few stocks on that list unless the whole market's, kind of in a free for all, and then that list grows really big every night. But the interesting thing to me is that list was bigger than I've seen it in weeks, and the SPY sitting at all-time highs. And if you trade it all on a regular basis like I do, you're starting to see some weird anomalies, right? The market's bleeding higher every day, new all-time highs every day almost. You're also seeing these, look at the narrow range today, and then a couple days ago and the day before that and the day before that. You're seeing some weird narrow range, boring action for the market. But it is weird because there's a lot of stocks that have been getting slapped for a week straight now. It's just some kind of, I don't know. So somebody asked me why I think that's happening, or why we're seeing so many recent days where the range is just really, really narrow and there's not much intraday action, which obviously isn't great for day traders like me. I don't really have an answer for that. It's just bizarre, right? But, something's going to break free soon, one way or the other. And again, there was still stuff to trade today. I'll go into this real quick. ATNF, I actually called over the 1 minute high. So I'll show you, for those of you that weren't in chat today. Here's what it looked like. It was on the morning gap playlist, and I was actually on the mic for the first time in 2 weeks because my throat's, been so messed up. Today I was on the mic, not all day, but I said I'll turn on the mic if I have something to call, and that's what I did. This topped out at the quarter. I called this long over 1025. Worst case stop would just be implied the low of the day, so about 25 cents risk. So I got long there. I sold some into the first pop. It came back to my entry, and I hit out. I didn't just honor my stop. And in hindsight, man, I wish I would have. It just went nuts. So I don't know what I made, a few $100s on it or something, right? And then it ended up doing that, which is always makes me feel like an idiot. But it was Monday morning, and I was defense first mindset and all that stuff. I did call a two's buy zone, I think, pullback in this one later that some of you got also. But anyway, it was pretty strong stock today. And Playboy, Wayne, PLBY, Wayne gave this idea. Actually, he called a suit G straight out of the gate gap play through 30 right before the open. So in other words, after it opened, if it ripped through 30, even in the first minute, that was his trade idea. Well, here's what happened. Showing you 5-minute candles. So it topped out at 29.50. And as I was saying over the mic, PLBY topped out at 29.50. I like it over that since Wayne already liked it over 30. You've got a catalyst above, right? And that was based on pre-market action. And Wayne was typing at the exact time I was saying. So we both liked it. And then it chops around for a while. Wait for it. Little volume, little pullback, and then just rips. When I saw this, that's the trigger. That was Wayne's idea, 29.50. And by the way, probably a few minutes before that, I had said, keep an eye on Playboy. It's curling up, right? But those of you that were in chat today know what I did. I saw the volume coming in, and instead of placing a limit order on the TradeStation Matrix like I usually do, I placed a market order. And I got filled, I want to say 29.93, something like that. I actually hit it twice, so I got filled at 29.91 and 29.93 before I realized I thought I was still going to get it under the high of day, but it moved so fast. And you're not supposed to do a market order like that, but I did. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I got lucky, and I sold some. I want to say over 31, but most of my sales were between 30 and 31. Still made a really nice chunk on it, but that was a little scary because I usually don't do market orders. I could have got burned on it. Anyway, closed pretty strong. As a matter of fact, okay, yeah, it is on my watch list. So that was a couple highlights from today, but overall, let's go back to the SPY real quick, and then I'm going to get into the watch list for tomorrow. Extremely sideways, choppy action, and kind of an aggravating day. I go hours sometimes in this recent environment without placing a trade. That's why mornings are really, really important. If you can, if you're a chat room member, if you can, you really want to try to be there for that first hour and a half in this recent environment, because it's getting kind of stupid midday and on. Okay, anyway, having said all that, Playboy, PLBY, that's on watch because you have a recent high from about a week ago at 33.49, and then today's high was 32.57. So you got a couple potential catalysts above. So this one is one of my favorites. It's still kind of extended though, but nice volume today, nice volume on that big day. But you know, the moving averages, and when I say moving average, I'm talking about the 8 and the 20. It's way above those, but doesn't mean it can't still rip, right? Just be aware that it is kind of extended, but if I get an A+ intraday setup, I will absolutely trade that one. MUDS was on the gap playlist, and I never caught a trade in it, but a nice rip today. We're going to watch that for a follow-through day tomorrow. GBOX, kind of a recent high flyer, had a couple-day pullback and is right up near a recent high, so that's a strong one. We're going to watch that. LHDX, nice volume today, closing well off its highs. It topped out at 12.14 before closing under 11. But it's pretty beaten up since coming public, and this is the biggest volume it's ever had. So definitely on watch for a follow-through day tomorrow. GTBP had a really nice run here. Looked like it was rolling over. Next thing, it's right back up. Friday's high, 1087. Today's high, 1050. So really interesting. Got a possible half number inflection point tomorrow through 1050 with a catalyst just above of 1087. Potential catalyst, right? So that one's interesting to me. Rice. Generally, when I put a strong stock on watch and then, then it pulls back for a few days, it goes on bounce watch. Well, this one had a huge 2 days, and then it gave back a good chunk of, if you look at the range from the low of 3 sessions ago to the high today, it's probably come pretty close to retracing half of it. So I'm actually putting this on bounce watch already for tomorrow, although I'd like to see it come in another day or two. NVIDIA, NVDA, big day today. Topped out at 614.10, all-time highs, 614.90. So it's really, really interesting for a follow-through day tomorrow. I tried, when I saw the news in this and it started doing this, I kept putting bids in the buy zones that we talk about, and it just kept turning right in front of me. I could never get filled on that. I was trying to buy pullbacks. In hindsight, I could have bought a couple of those flag breaks, but anyway, definitely goes on watch for tomorrow. RMO was on bounce watch coming into today and gave the setup that we teach, which was basically, here's the early high, 959. I called this over the high of day anytime today, which was 960, and it went to 1020. Nice little move there. I got a few thank yous in chat from people that took that one. It did turn today and close above its open after the big pop and the 4-day pullback. So this goes on kind of on long watch, looking for that bounce to continue. And really, you have the same setup in rail. I didn't type that right. RAIL. You had a 4-day pullback. And actually, at one point today, there's the early high. Broke its early high too, but kind of bled lower the rest of the day. So we didn't get an afternoon high of day and break, a high of day break in that one. But it is sitting right in the middle of that 820 buy zone that we look for. So definitely goes back on bounce watch for tomorrow. Couple more. DGLY. Anytime there's riots, this thing pops. I even said in chat, I don't really get it. I know what they do, body cameras and everything, but I still don't understand why there's riots and so body cameras on cops. I mean, I guess I could sort of make the connection. I don't know, but it never seems to follow through. If you look at it, it never seems to follow through. But we'll see if it gives an A+ setup tomorrow. And then lastly, CLOV had the big pop last week. 2 days lower on declining volume. Pretty good setup for a turn back up. I'm done babbling. We'll put extra gappers that we find in the morning on the watch list as well. Should be plenty to trade. Again, let's be vigilant that first hour and a half because that's been a pretty important period if you want to make some money. All right, we'll see you in chat in the morning.